Hi, Coach Yeboah here. So I wanted to take a few minutes and talk about the holidays and really how you as a person, as a spouse, can do better in 2023. Because listen, the holidays have a way of reminding you of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because when it's bad, it's really bad during the holidays. And so, as a person, I want you to think through your experiences this year. In 2022, how were you as a spouse? How were you to your spouse? What did you do? How did you treat your spouse? How did you treat yourself, your children, those around you? Did you commit to your marriage the way you intended to commit to your marriage? If there were things that fell short, what are you going to do differently in 2023? Listen, when we commit and we say I do, we don't know what we're saying I do to, right? We have an idea through the butterflies and love and care. We think everything will be that way until you get married and you find out it is not so. But I want to challenge you that in 2023, you will begin to create the world that you want. So in your life as a spouse, you will be able to speak life over your marriage. You will be able to behave the way you want to see your spouse behave and not be discouraged. You will be able to do exactly what you envision your marriage doing, or you will find purpose together as a couple. See, there's a lot of behaviors today. As I was going to an event, I'm a bit all dressed up, but I was heading out to an event this evening, and I thought to myself, wow, every behavior, every action, and every decision you make literally is waiting for you. It's waiting for the day where the consequences will show up. When we make better decisions to eat better food, improve our nutrition, it shows in our body weight, our energy. When we choose to exercise, it shows. People can see it. We build muscles. Emotional muscles work the same way. When you work on yourself, you work on your anger management, you work on your response to situations. When you work on all those things, you're building stamina, you're building capacity, you're building emotional muscles, you're building resilience. And when we don't do that, we tend to look just anyhow. We look like we didn't work out. When you don't work out, you look it. You always look tired. So we get frustrated, emotionally speaking, you get frustrated because you're not really taking care of you. You're not sleeping well. You're not resting. Your needs are not met. I've talked about this over and over again. The needs drive behavior. When your needs are not met, your behavior tends to be a reaction to that need that is unmet. And anytime your need is unmet, I'm telling you, frustration ensues. You become resentful, and you become a ticking time bomb. It's only a matter of time before you lose it altogether. So my challenge to you in 2023 is that you will do something different. That in 2023, you will arise from all the things that you're used to doing. You're going to challenge yourself as a better spouse. Everything you did, I'm talking about if you cheated, if you lied, if you mistreated your spouse, if you yelled at your spouse, if you even hit your spouse. Something you should never do. But even if you went to that extent, out of anger, frustration, whatever, nothing excuses your behavior. Let me make that clear and blunt. Your behavior may have had contributing factors, but your behavior is not excused by, okay, I didn't get enough sex, so I cheated. They caused me to be upset because I was talking, they didn't listen to me, so I got upset and I lost my cool. Yeah, all of that is irrelevant. Yeah, I hate to bust your bubble, but let me be honest with you. Your behavior is your responsibility. When you choose to behave a certain way, that's a choice. You wanted to behave that way. It's not because of what your spouse did, and you can't spend time blaming your spouse because of what you think they did. So I want to urge you to move away from blame. I want to urge you to move away from constantly pointing the finger, and really pointing the finger at yourself and acknowledging that there are things I need to work on. Anything that triggers me is a place of healing that's needed. So I cannot look at my spouse and continuously blame my spouse and say my spouse did this, my spouse is that, my spouse. No, your spouse could have been all of those things, but you also have a responsibility to ensure that you manage your emotions. It's called anger management because we assume that you're going to get angry. But management, because you have to manage the anger on your own. That means you will be triggered because the trigger is what causes the anger. But you're triggered because there's things inside of you that you haven't dealt with. So I don't want you to go into another year blaming your spouse. Point the finger at you. You are responsible for you. You are responsible for the relationship. Not 50%, 100%. Listen, I get it. Many households are doing 50-50 everything. You pay the bill half, I pay the bill half. It's whatever floats your boat. Okay? That's not how it was. That's not how it was expected to be. That's how people want to make it. They want to become roommates. That's fine. If that's what floats your boat, that's what floats your boat. But emotionally, you cannot go in as roommates. Because roommates, you tell yourself, I don't owe you anything. Your spouse, you owe your spouse everything. So you owe your spouse the ability to manage and control your emotions. You owe your spouse the ability to stand and be truthful. You owe your spouse honesty, integrity, respect. You owe your spouse everything so that you don't end up behaving as though your spouse is the reason why you did it. So your spouse is not responsible for you. They may do things that contribute to your response. However, none of those things are blameworthy. None of those things are responsible for your behavior. You are responsible for your behavior. And I know that's not popular knowledge. That's not popular. It's not accepted publicly. People think that if you're triggered by someone, it's the person's fault. No, it's your fault for choosing to yell at your spouse. It's your fault for losing your cool. It's your fault you cheated. It's not your spouse's fault. It's your fault. And I hate to put it that way because listen, there's so much temptation out there. And this upcoming year, I am trusting God for the strength and the capacity to show up a lot more, because one of the things I want to teach about is emotional cheating, which most likely ends up in physical cheating. I want to teach a lot about that. I want to teach proper behavior as a married person, because a lot of married people have it twisted. I want to teach some of that, how you behave with the opposite sex and everything. It's inappropriate. It's not your job to make the opposite sex feel better. Oh, you look nice. Your lips are nice. You're this, you're that. No, that's not your responsibility. Let them find their own man and let the men make them feel better. Let them find their own wife or boyfriend and let them make them feel better. Because you may say, but there's no big deal. But when was the last time somebody said, oh, you look this way, that way, and made notice of your appearance? What happened as a result? There are innocent comments, but a lot of these comments are inviting comments. I'm praying for grace because I am going to teach on this until it gets in the heart and the mind of people that it's important, is necessary, is needed that you behave appropriately with or without your spouse present. Because when you do that behind your spouse, when your spouse is present, you will behave appropriately. So what is my challenge? Don't go into 2023 the way you came into 2022. Fix yourself. Stop the flirtatious, text messages. Stop the flirting. Because, I learned in school years ago that flirting is a survival skill. Survive at home. So you don't have to go survive out there. Thrive at home, so that out there you don't have to manage to try to please anybody, because your decision, your commitment is at home. All right. So I'm going to teach on that because a lot of the cases I dealt with this year behind the scene had to deal with a lot of these things I'm talking about. So I want to come in and show people that these things are not, it's not normal. It's not normal. Let me go out with my friend from work, my coworker. No. No, don't do it. And that's not popular belief, but I'm here to dispel all of that. Opposite sex, we don't do that. No, there's no such thing as we're just friends. No, we X'd that out from some of the videos I did in the past. A lot of this behavior is inviting because proximity yields to liking. It was a simple lunch date. Then this lunch date turned into people wanting to extend it. Now, after you get home, they want to check and see if you got home safely. You tell them you got home safely. What are you doing? I'm watching TV. Next thing you know, oh, what kind of show is it? Meanwhile, their spouse is somewhere else and they're over here texting this person. That's family time. They're choosing to lend you. So it's one thing if you're like, oh, I don't know, da-da-da. Some people claim, I didn't know he was married. I didn't know she was married. Okay. If you're dating somebody that you don't know they're married, you clearly haven't done your due diligence. You haven't. But what I have seen with people is that they're very aware. The other person is very aware that you're married. But they think they carry something the husband doesn't have. So they want to come for the wife. That's where you're wrong and you're foul. Because you play those games that can get dangerous. Those games can get dangerous. So if you're here, you're like, oh, I'm going to just have, a side man and my husband will never know. I'm just playing, we're just flirting. Listen, those games are dangerous. So when you have a family, you have children, and you choose to expose your children in that manner, that is unsafe. You don't know the mental status of people. As a mental health professional, I can tell you, you will never know people's mental health status unless they have like a crisis. People are very well kept together. Yes, very well kept together. So don't ever look at anybody and say, oh, she's all right. Let me try her. People would kill. If that relationship won't die, somebody has to die. So don't live life not caring about the end result. Sometimes we don't think cheating is normal. We don't really think about it. But I'm trying to show you the severity of it. And I'm honing and emphasizing it because it's one of those things that you do and it's a debt. It becomes a debt. Forget forgiveness. Staying together, having more children and doing things, it means absolutely nothing. Because the person you forgive, you moved on. But it's a debt because that debt is always going to be there. It's a debt that cannot be paid off. Unless the spouse goes through the cleansing, he's forgiven, he forgives, he changes behavior, she changes how she talks, she changes how she behaves, she changes how... Do you understand? You have to go through a whole cleansing for that thing to be manageable. You don't forget those things. We don't, that's not one of those things you forget. And I hate to put it to people that way, but that's the severity. Betrayal trauma is real. And if you put your spouse through betrayal trauma, you're planting seeds that you will have to water your whole life. Because they will let go. One day that it will come back again. Do you understand what I'm saying? And when you forgive, yes, you let go. But I'm telling you, that thing is not forgotten. So you have to, as an individual, as a spouse, the families that are broken, the people that went through 2022 was hard. Personally, it was hard for me too. And you guys are going to hear all about it in my book. I have a book coming up in the next month or so. It's already completed, but I'm just waiting for the permission, the oomph to put it out. It's an amazing book. It will transform your life. It's a book on marriage, but a book you can use whether you're single, whether you're married, whether you're divorced. Hopefully that's not your story, but it's a book you can use in life just to learn lessons and just how to be in life, really, to enjoy life to the fullest. I'm excited. It's a good season for me. It's a great season for me. And I pray that it's the same season for you as well. That the Lord is blessing and restoring things that seem to be dead in your life. That He's bringing things back to life for you. He's bringing abundance. He's bringing joy. He's bringing love. For those that are looking for a spouse, believe that in this season, God is doing a new thing. And He's bringing to you a helper. You need a helper who is sold out for Him, who loves God more than you. And that is how you know that your relationship is secured. This person has to love God more. Because when it's all said and done, whatever they do against you is against God. It's not against you, per se. It's against God. And once they understand that, I'm telling you, your whole relationship changes. Because they have to understand that this is against God. I'm sinning against God and not my spouse. When that clicks, I'm telling you, it changes your outlook. It changes the way they behave. It changes how they come out. It changes everything. So this is my little spiel to you. I pray that goodness and mercy locate you all of 2023. And you're going to be here with me and we're going to learn together. We're going to grow together. Invite others to this page. And I'm not going to promise. I don't do well with promises. But I'm going to devote myself a little bit more. And you will understand why I was gone for some time. You will get it. And so all of that will make sense. But there was work to do, and I'm ready to do that work. And I thank you for your support, because it tells me that you're still here and I need to show up. So I don't want to say I promise. I'm going to be intentional about delivering at least once a week. So may you all be blessed. Enjoy your holiday season. Bye-bye for now. Make sure if you haven't watched my videos, my other videos on purpose and all those things, make sure you look at the other videos and go ahead and watch them, okay? All right? Later.